Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk. And I went car booting this morning. There was nothing round my way really local to me. So I took a trip up to Chelford, which is about 10-15 miles away from where I live. And there's quite a big, well, it used to be a massive car boot sale, but there was something happened a few years ago, and it split into two car boot sales. And to be honest, even now they've got a bit smaller, so it's not quite what it once was, but it's still a fairly decent size car boot sale. Anyway, I got there, and on one of the stalls that I had a look at it, I had a lot of fishing stuff and bits like that. I mean, that's not something that really interests me. I'm not much into fishing. I'm not angling. I don't mind sea fishing, but anyway, he had lots of fishing stuff on, and I was quickly glanced over and I spotted these. I thought I'd grab a pair of these. He had a big box of them actually, and he said they are medical. Basically, the forceps, they lock and unlock. Stainless steel. They're actually. I don't know if I'll pick it up on the camera, but they're actually laser etched, and they say surgical steel, and they've actually got a serial number on them, so they're individually numbered. So I'm guessing these have been inside someone or something at some point. But they were, yeah, he said they're £1 a pair, and he said what fishermen use them for is when they're making their lures, they use them to hold like the very tiny things when they're messing about with lures and stuff like that. But I thought these are absolutely perfect. You know, when you drop that screw in the bottom of something, or you just need to get hold of something, actually hold it in place. I thought they'd be ideal for things like that, so I picked a pair of them up. So for £1. I'm sure these would have been very, very expensive when they were produced. I mean, anything that's medical equipment is. So I was quite pleased at them for £1. He had some different size ones as well, but I picked one of these smaller pairs like that. For, like I said, working on small boards when you need to, you know, pick that part up or hold something in place. It should be ideal. Anyway, I was walking on round, and I stopped at a stall, and they had I think everything on the stall was £1. And I started browsing around. If I ever see a stall like that where everything's £1, everything's a 50p, I always have to go and have a look, just in case there's something that's worth having on there. Anyway, I'm looking round on the stall, and the stall looks at me and says, "Are you called Jay?" And I'll go, rather aback. But to be honest, because I used to work in event management, I've met many thousands of people over the years. And obviously you can't always remember people, so I'm thinking, is this someone that I've met, through work many years ago, and I can't, the face doesn't twig me. And then he suddenly says, "You don't know me." He said, "But are you Jay's Vintage Junk?" And it's actually someone that's one of my viewers. Someone that Andy knows as well, actually. I think he's done some work for, Andy's done some work for him, repairing some equipment for him. And he watches my channel, and he recognised me walking around the car boot sale. Anyway, he had this on his stall. Like I say, in the anything for £1 kind of section. And it's one of those little monitors that you'd use on like the back headrest of a car to keep your kids entertained. It's rather a nice one actually, because a lot of these, the proprietary to the actual DVD, you usually get like 2 of these in a DVD player. And they usually have a proprietary connection on them that just goes to the DVD player. And generally speaking, the video signal's actually S-video rather than composite. I mean, there's nothing, you can get round it. I've used them in the past for projects, and you can convert them to accept a composite signal. But this one actually just has 2 like 3.5mm jacks, and one is video and one is audio. So I'm hoping I can just squirt a simple video and audio signal into it, and that would make a really, really nice little test monitor. Even better, it actually has a little stand on the back, so you can pull it out and stand it up, and the screen actually tilts. So it basically, the screen pivots like that, so you can actually get the best viewing angle. I just had a quick look around there. I don't actually have the correct barrel adapter, or at least I can't find my pot of barrel adapters to see if I can fit one. So we'll probably try messing about with that in a future video, because I might find a project to use that with. It's rather a nice little monitor, and he very kindly just gave it me. Thanks for that, because that is like a super cool little monitor. So I will have a play with that, see if I can get it working, and see, you know, it might be nice for a Spectrum or something, making a little portable specky setup or something like that. So I picked that up. That's really nice. That was pretty much it for the car boots. I was actually on the last row of cars before I was going to head back to my car, and I spotted that. And it was right at the back of a stall with a load of 8mm projectors, and I went over to it and picked it up, and the lady at the stall was saying apparently she'd got hold of a load of these projectors and a load of radios, and this was the last one that she had. She said they'd sold really well, which is quite nice. It's nice to see that these are actually being bought and people doing stuff with them rather than just going to landfill. She said she hadn't done too well with the projectors. To be honest, I've got a few projectors and I'm not really that interested in them. I occasionally use them for transferring video for people, old 8mm for people. But anyway, this was on the stall, and I asked her how much she wanted for it, and she said £3. So I obviously offered her £2 for it, and she said yeah, that's fine. So what we've got here, this is a EverReady Sky Baron. It's it's a reasonably interesting little radio. This one is in terrible condition. It is the veneer is completely shot on it, as you can see. It's missing the bright from the centre there. Although the fabric actually looks fairly good on it, it's had a bash right where the speaker is, and it's actually torn across there, although that is repairable. A little chink off the corner of the Sky Baron badge there, but it's actually nice that the badge is still intact, because I've seen quite a few of these type radios and the badge is just missing. And I don't think that control there is correct. I don't think that's correct for the radio. But just move those out of the way. For £2 for I think this is I've not even looked up the service data for it yet. I just thought I'd just do a video and we'd have a quick look, see if we can actually get this thing to play. I shouldn't really need the service data to be able to get it to play, to be totally honest, but it is useful for finding the exact date on it. A rough guess, I'd say it's around about 1960. It's quite unusual in that it's if you saw it straight away, you'd say it's a little tabletop valve set. It's not. It's actually a transistor set. It's a battery operated transistor radio, but it's still in the more of the style of like a bedside valve radio. It's from that era where they was just changing over from valve to transistor, really. Like early, very late 50s, very early 1960s. Like I said, if it had a mains card on it, you'd instantly expect it to be a valve radio. In fact, even battery, you'd expect it possibly to be a battery valve radio. But we'll turn it round and have a quick look at the back of it. Now, unfortunately, the back is missing. Not a major thing. It is literally just a piece of board, really. It's still got its little holes there, and it's just like a battery cover. So I could make a new one of them. The biggest letdown of the radio really is the fact that the veneer is completely shot on it. If I was to make this into a nice radio, I would have to strip the cabinet and re-veneer it. I may actually possibly have. It depends how much I can get some veneer for, to be honest. It's never going to be a valuable radio. Whether if it plays nice, it might be worth, you know, spending a tiny little bit of money on it and making it into a nice radio. The speaker in it, it's got a huge, for what it is, oval speaker in there. That's what, like a 7-inch oval speaker, and it's actually got a decent size output transformer there. Push-pull transistors for the output stage. So it has the potential to actually sound fairly decent. We could also possibly consider converting it to operate on mains rather than 9 volts. I'm not sure. It would also be really simple to put a holder in there to take double A's and just run it off 6 AA batteries, do something like that. We might as well see if it's actually going to do something. What I think I'll do, I'll reposition the camera, get you in a bit of a better position so you're looking at the actual radio, not just like me and the radio. I've got my bench supply over here. We've got all the tools round us, so we'll see. We'll put some power up it. We'll see if it does anything. And if it doesn't work, we'll see what it's going to take to actually make this thing play again. So I'll get set up and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're all set up on the bench. You can see things a little bit better now. In fact, I'll just see if I can put the overhead light on. See if that makes things a little bit brighter. Just switch that on as well. Is that any better? Right. And as well, after I've been to the car boot sale this morning, I actually called in at Aldi on the way home because I needed a few provisions. And I spotted these in their, you know how Aldi sells some reasonable tools actually, especially for us hobbyists that don't need professional gear. And these were £4. And I've got precision screwdrivers, but the problem is I keep losing the bloody handles. I've only got a couple of the handles, and I've got loads of bits. And I saw this, and it's a ratcheting one. Let's open it up. So basically, we've got the standard precision bits that you usually get, but what I thought was really nice about it is that it's a ratcheting mechanism. So you turn the thing there, and it goes the other way. But you also get, which I thought was so nice, so useful, an extension so it can actually use it as a reasonable size screwdriver. So let's, if we need to take any screws out, we'll see how good this is. There's a few reasonable size bits in there. I do have bigger ones in my other kit, so I've got loads of spare bits for this thing. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you that. Seeing I picked it up when I was just on my way back from the car boot sale. Anyway, let's get some test leads. I've got some hookup leads here because I'm not sure what the original battery this thing used was. That's quite a. That's like you'd find in a lot of like battery valve radios. And it's broken actually as well because that negative point's broken off there. Apparently it should use a PP10, which are no longer available. So what we'll do for initial power up is we will use my bench power supply. We'll plug into that. And we'll set that for 9 volts out there. Switch that on, and I've got it set to milliamps so we can see what the current draw on this thing is. We'll connect it up. We've got red to red. We'll see if it's going to play. That's on there. We'll connect black up on there like that. Right, that should do. Let's switch on and we'll see if it's got any life in it. And that seems completely dead. And looking at the meter over here, I've got, like I said, I've got that set down to amps, and we're getting absolutely no current draw at all. We're getting absolutely no jump on that needle whatsoever. So it is pretty well. It is pretty well dead. See if I just quickly short them together, you can see the needle jump. So we've definitely got power going in. Connect on there. we've got nothing there at all. Yeah, it's dead as a doorbell. So let's crack inside it and see what's going on. See if I can get this into a position where you're going to be able to see it as well. Let's see what we've got screwdriver wise in here. Got some very small Phillips screws, so hopefully this might work. That's quite nice, that. Certainly not bad. Got a screw out there. I've got a screw at the top there. Oh, there's two screws at the top there. Let's get them out. Right. Could be as simple as just a bad switch in the volume control. So what we might do, once we've got this off, is just try bypassing that switch and see if it's going to give any life then. Get them screws out of the way. Excuse me. Get that piece of board out of the way. That's still in reasonable condition. And let's have a look inside. So we've got a tiny little circuit board in there, tiny PCB. I'm guessing they may have used this actual circuit in another radio, perhaps in like a portable transistor radio rather than this this large thing. Now on this radio, a lot of early transistor radios are positive earth rather than negative earth, so it's actually just the negative which is being switched by that switch there. So we take our test leads, we'll connect back up to the red wire there, which is our positive connection, and we'll just try bypassing the switch by going straight onto the negative switch negative connection here. Look at that. And that's brought it straight to life. In fact, you hear that getting louder. Left corner of the penalty area, out to the left touchline. So it looks like we've just got a bad. Does look like we've just got a bad switch. Even the volume control's not crackly. That's impressive. Let's see if we can tune it.
Top man, Johnny Nelson, the former cruiserweight champion of the world. Right, we told you there's been a goal for the EverReady Sky.
Oops. And we pulled the wire off, unfortunately. Let's see if we can connect that back up. There we are. I'll have to be a bit careful of copyrighted music, but I'll just turn that down a bit. Can't believe that. It can go as loud as I was expecting it to, actually.
Knee injury. Replaced by the Congo.
Now, where I live is notoriously bad for AM reception. So we will, even on a good radio, unless I'm using an external aerial, I can only pick up a few stations usually. But
passage of play where Aubameyang has the header at the far post and links up between Smith Rowe.
it's actually not doing too bad. I'm actually really... I'll just disconnect that now. Wow. Well, I wasn't expecting it to work quite that easily, and really nothing wrong with it at all. Now, we will have some capacitors in there that probably need changing, but I'm not sure what really to do with this radio. I bought it because it was £2. That speaker's worth more than £2. The output transformer's worth more than £2. To be honest, then output transistors are worth a couple of quid. You know, if I was to break this up for spares, I could probably get 15 quid out of it or something like that. But I mean, I wouldn't actually sell the parts. I'd put them in my own stock. Speakers like that are always needed for record players, things like that. But I don't want to break it up. It's for it just to play like that, with all it needs is the volume controls. In fact, well, let's give that volume control a blast with some cleaner. See if we can get that switch to start working again. We might have to take it apart and actually clean it out properly, but let's just try. I have got away with this before sometimes. We can just... I need to get some more... in fact, have we got some proper switch cleaner here? We've got some Super 10. Super 10's really, really good for cleaning switches out. Let's give that a... See if we can get some Super 10 in the actual switch contacts, and we'll work them. And see if we can get them to work again. This can... So we'll see if we can get them... If not, it'd be no matter at all to change that volume pot out. Let's see. Hasn't made any difference. Look at that. It's a pity I can't let it play a bit longer, because I'll get a copyright strike if I do. But wow! So literally all I've done to get it really working quite nicely. And all it's taken to get it running again.
When it opened up, because I thought this was trouble, it's a massive deflection. Oh, what a save. And he's had to stretch everything there to get a fingertip.
All it's taken to get it working like that is just to spray. Wow, it goes loud as well. All it's taken to get it playing that nicely is just to spray the volume control. That for a £2 junk radio. That's astounding. That plays really, really nicely. Send me a comment. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should just use this as a parts radio, or do you think I should price up some veneer and have a look, re-veneer it, make a new back for it, probably either convert it to run on a mains transformer, or put a holder in there to take AA batteries so it can actually be used. Could possibly even add an AV input to it and use it so you can plug your phone into it and play your phone through it. I'd like some suggestions. I think this is too nice just to break up for spare parts. If it had been a basket case, if the output transformer was bad, or the speaker was bad, or anything like that was bad in it, it wouldn't be worth doing anything with it. It would just be worth salvaging whatever was worth salvaging out of it and using the case for firewood. With it being able to play so nicely, just like that, just with a quick spray of the volume control, I think it deserves some restoration. So, like I said, send me a comment, see what suggestion what I should do with this thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I'm unfortunately, so we didn't really get to do much of a diagnosis of faults on this thing. But sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes it is something so simple. I hope you enjoyed that little video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.